The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hey, Bill Nye, the science guy here. Whenever I am listening to the radio, especially Tech Talk Radio, it's just such a party.
And welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn Weird.
And I'm Slick.
Y'all ready for Halloween? Did you guys buy any candy?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't buy candy, you know.
Did we eat it all? Of course we did.
Not coming to your house, Shawn.
Giving away packs of Pokemon cards this year, though.
No, you're not. That's Pokemon cards?
Costco was selling a Halloween special for Pokemon cards. It's 10 Pokemon cards in a Halloween theme, and I got 60 packs of them or whatever for a handful of dollars. I don't remember what I paid for them. But
You guys talk about Pokemon cards. I'm going to show you what my costume is this year. Hang on.
Wait. Slick, you're actually going to wear a costume this year?
Wait till you see it, though. Hang on.
Okay.
Wait for the punchline.
Slick's going off to go put on a costume.
You know, we bought candy and we bought some of these Pokemon cards. We're just going to walk Max up and down the street just a little bit.
You know, I've noticed that less people, though, do it and do the trick-or-treating and the Halloween, candy giving than they have in the past. I mean, I remember growing up, every single house in my neighborhood where I lived in Orange County, every house gave it away. And it was very rare for you to find a house that had the lights off. Unless you went out super late. And I remember we would go out starting at 6, and we wouldn't be done till 8, and I had like a pillowcase full of candy.
Oh, yeah, we always had a pillowcase full. Rain or
You
shine.
were not like metropolitans, though. I mean, the areas you two grew up in, are they more like rural or, suburbs or what?
I lived in the city in Huntington Beach. It was suburb of Orange County, but I mean, it was neighborhood community.
Where are you, Shawn?
We had to specifically go into town. Like I lived on the sticks. I would have to walk. I mean, we had neighbors that were probably 600-700 yards away, and then the next neighbor was like a mile.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up on a farm.
When you did go trick-or-treating, there was always those neighbors that kind of stood out. There used to be a dentist, but you would go to his house, and he would give you toothpaste and toothbrushes. Because he was the dentist. But you know what?
Oh, yeah. No. My dentist also did the same thing.
Yeah, we'd still go. I knew what I was going to get. I would still go because it was like, oh, cool. I'm getting something cool from this guy's house. That was kind of the cool thing. Now, as a parent, I always loved taking the kids around. And I remember one year, somebody on the street, I guess for a year, they've been collecting all the AOL 1.44 floppies, the install discs. They were giving those out for trick or treat.
I should do that.
I'm gonna show this on camera real quick, and then
right.
you two, if you can recognize it, you can tell everybody what it is. Okay.
Okay.
If you can recognize it.
Shawn, any idea?
The lower decks.
Lower decks.
Well, no, it's not lower decks. It's a Discovery, a Star Trek Discovery shirt, basically.
Wow,
yeah.
you are a geek, aren't you?
Yeah. Someone gave that to me, and that's been my Halloween costume for years.
Really?
Years. Yeah.
Now,
because I'm too cheap to dress up.
Now, where will you wear?
What is the best Halloween costume you've ever worn?
Yeah, what would it be, Slick?
It had to been something from when I was a kid. My great-grandparents, until I was 9, they would get me with the face masks and everything. I think I remember Casper. I remember the one that sticks on my mind is Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Right. And that just a sheet with a hole in it?
My mom used to help me make my Halloween costumes.
Right.
My favorites are I dressed up as a Christmas tree. I dressed up as a tube of toothpaste.
That was good with the dentist, right?
Yeah.
And there were some other ones. I dressed up as like a big guy with a no head, so like it looked like he was holding my head. So
those are great. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one too.
I like those.
And then I dressed up as several of the Ninja Turtles over the years also.
It's funny because I remember my mom and dad had a British friend that worked at Mattel. And I mean, at Mattel. And this is, when Star Wars had just come out, they didn't have the Dawn Post mask out yet. So this guy, I don't know how he did it, but he created a Darth Vader mask. It was a 2-piece mask, but it was huge. It was enormous. I mean, honestly, it looked like Stewie from Family Guy could have worn this thing, but that was huge. I always had fun with that time of the year, and I feel bad for kids now because, again, it's just not too many homes do it. We had a house across the street from us that for the past, probably 6 years, The guy had been doing his front yard up, and he would start in September, and he'd have brilliant displays and lights, and then the street would fill on Halloween, and kids would line up to be able to go into this guy's haunted house. It was the first year, nothing. He's not doing it. So I don't even know if we're going to get kids this year. They're going to come up and down the street. I still will set a table out, and I usually sit outside. It just, as the kids come by, give them the candy. But
okay, here's the problem, everybody. I started doing some brainstorming. So here's what I think we should do as Tech Talk Radio.
Okay. All right.
Relax.
Give away floppy disks. Yes.
Relax.
No, but you are close. I think what we should do is buy a lot of the small size, cheap USB flash drives and load them up with
malware.
No. Free Creative Commons stuff. Maybe music, maybe programs, maybe images. And then when people come and knock on the door and they go, Mr. Andy. And then we just go, hey, trick or treat, click,
And give them why would you? Here we are on the air saying, and we're telling our listeners, don't put strange USB drives in your computers, and you're going to give kids USB drives.
100%. I would give away USB drives and see what they do.
To see how many actually follow through and put something into their computer. That would be.
But they'd be coming from us. Don't you, everybody trust us?
No,
they?
I wouldn't.
I don't know.
You got to be really careful these days. I mean, you never know. And now, used to be, as a parent, you'd have to check the kids' candy. We always did that. My parents would check our candy, and I would check my kids' candy. But you also have to check now for things like this. If your kid gets a USB drive, make sure you have a discussion with them not to put that into a computer, or be careful of trackers. You just never know. And, speaking of that, to kind of move into the tech world here, Apple has had their tracker. Android is going to be having their trackers, which they've kind of revamped them a little bit. So it looks like, if you want to be able to track your luggage, your devices, it's going to be a little easier, especially if you're in the Android world and you want to be able to track it with your Android smartphone.
Is this going to be like a Google Bless tracker or something? Because I know there was some third-party stuff. But...
Well, the AirTags for Apple have been really successful and very popular. And people have found, other than the worrying about them being used in the wrong way, that when used in the right way, like tracking your luggage or tracking other devices, has actually worked out quite well. So Samsung has the Smart Tag devices, and it looks like we're going to see other alternatives now with the Android platform for tracking. Speaking of that, and looking at what Apple's doing, there is an event that is going to be happening on Monday, this coming Monday, that our listeners may want to check out. It's called Scary Fast, and Apple announced this this week, giving you really a week just to get ready for this event on Monday. That's going to be happening at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you think about it, for the East Coast, they're going to be watching at 8. But this online event, it's their second event that they're doing for the fall. A lot of people are thinking they're going to be unveiling the new M3 Max. And, if you've heard about what the M2 Max have done speed-wise, Shawn, did you ever get a chance to look at one?
So I've actually gotten to play with, our studios replaced all of the old iMacs with the new M2 Studios.
Right.
Which they're incredibly fast. And they're designed, Justin's not here, so he can't poo-poo all over this, right?
Yeah.
But I think he would even agree that these Mac Studios are designed for media professionals.
Right.
He'll agree with that. He's even said that. But going in and putting a file into Premiere and transcoding it, and it just going like that, just being done, I was just like, holy crap. And going back to 2010, 2009, 2010, when I worked at Fox, and we were still having to transcode MPEG 4s to MPEG 2 because Final Cut 7 didn't support MPEG 4.
Right.
So it's like going from that to this felt like I was jumping ahead even further than I am now.
So
it was so fast.
You see the benefits in Premiere, or you see the benefits in Final Cut, But I mean, you would basically, with that, you're going to see the benefits in any kind of graphic or audio editing program or pretty much anything where media is created.
Just everything was so snappy. I mean, just from a transcoding, like a CPU processing, a need for that, right?
Yeah.
Transcoding always been very CPU heavy. It just crunched the videos. It just chewed through them so fast.
It's so funny because I've been a long time user of on the Windows side of Adobe Premiere Pro, and I liked it. And I remember somebody and I had a Mac. The folks at Apple had sent us a Mac that we played around with, and I wish I could remember which model it was. And I went ahead. I don't know why, but I wasn't going to stay in the Mac world, and I bought a copy of Final Cut, and I used it. And I was afraid I would be a little timid about using it, but Final Cut it's so much similar to Premiere, or those in the Mac world might say that Premiere is so much similar to Final Cut, but as far as the layout and how you do that, but even then, you took a file in your Windows platform and you took a file in the Apple platform and you went to render. And what for the listeners who don't know what that means you're taking all of these cut images, audio, video, etc., fades, dissolves, and then you're combining it down. You're mixing it down to that final cut, right? You do that but the Mac still outperformed the PC. And I love Adobe and I still use Premiere Pro. But with Final Cut, it really did perform well. And I can imagine the M3 is going to be amazing.
Yeah, so the M3 is going to be amazing. And I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but Adobe did the right thing back in 2008 or 2009 when Apple actually launched Final Cut X at the time.
Yeah.
It was Final Cut 10 at the time. Now it's just Final Cut X or Final Cut Pro now. But Apple didn't support Sony XT-Cam formats, which was still the industry leading in the TV world, the industry leading codec for recording HD. So you couldn't natively shoot Sony XT-Cam and import it into Final Cut.
Right.
So Premiere said, well, here's our Mac version of Premiere that supports XT-Cam, and a ton of places I know switched over to Premiere because they supported it natively.
Yeah.
Apple filed suit about 2 years later, but lost a huge market share when Adobe went from just being PC-based to including it being Mac-based.
I'm not surprised about all of this because it's the blessing of the walled garden, though, isn't it? I mean, you have the operating system, you got the hardware, and then you have applications tuned, to the sports car, right?
Yeah, but it was Apple just trying to be that progressive as they were before, where they were like, we don't want XD-Cam, we don't want Adobe or Avid DNX, we want you to use ProRes. That's what they were trying to push, right? They were trying to push their platform for everybody. They wanted the industry to switch to ProRes, and it backfired on them because a lot of people said, we're not going to invest all this money in new hardware just to shoot ProRes when XD-Cam just support XD-Cam.
How do you feel, with Apple doing this big event that's coming up, which again, it's not going to be, nobody's going to be attending this thing. You'll be able to watch it online. If it is the M3 Max, and I mean, these are performance boosted, like we saw the M2 versus the M1. I mean, that was pretty much a big jump. Could the M3s be even more of a jump?
We've got to hit a certain point of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Right? How like the increments can't keep getting that big.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the technology really coming at us that fast but what are they developing for 10 years from now? But I'm excited to see the M3s because we're already M1s came out in 2019, 2020, right before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already 3 years in, but are they expecting to release a new generation of chip every year?
Yeah, it seems like the M2s have not been around that long, enough for people to save up their pennies and be able to go out and afford to buy one.
But I mean, is their development process that fast that we're expecting a year-to-year development return in processing chips? Like, is their return on investment that high that they can just dump all this money into new technology?
I kind of want.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I don't see how their development outpaces the sales.
I kind of wonder though, Shawn, it's like we've heard talk about, Intel and, with their processors, their new processor being able to hit, 6 gigahertz steady,
I just watched a Gamer Nexus video about the i14s, the 14 series.
Right.
And they are significantly disappointed in the performance of the 14s over the 13s.
Well, the 13
they're basically saying if you can get a 14 for cheaper than a 13, great, but don't waste your money on the 14th gen.
Yeah, because they're going to be really expensive. I bought the 13.9, and I got to say it blew the doors off anything. Not only that, it's also very quiet. It was a performer. And I love the 13 series. I've been pretty happy. 13.7, 13.9, both been really good. That's why I'm thinking, where will this 14 go? Is it just another way to keep the sales going, the momentum? Here's a motherboard that'll support it. Here's video card. Here's audio. All of these things all add up to create the PC. When will you say, what I've got is great, this will last me for about 5 or 6 years before it's time to update?
Yeah, I mean,
processors because of speed, because you needed that for like the video production you're doing, right? Is that the case, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because I'm imagining with Apple, I mean, we're heading towards device. It's not on the market yet, but it's there. It exists. So Apple's got the device. The next thing is the Neo port. The one that goes back in your head, like we had in the movie.
The Neuralink. From,
the Neuralink.
SpaceX or whatever.
That Musk is doing. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Elon's working on it. I forgot. I completely forgot about that.
I am pretty sure a lot of people would say, yeah, you know what? I think I'll pass on that one. I don't think they'll want to have a chip embedded in their system to say.
That's true. Most people. You're right.
I think a lot of people would go for it.
What?
I think
really? No.
I think in this day and age, we're already in a dystopian society. Why not make some money and risk it? Right? If it fries your brain, it's over. But if it works, it's going to be sweet, and you're going to be there, and you're going to be one of them.
I don't think that. I don't know. Yeah.
Red pill or blue pill? Come on.
Yeah, you're going to have people on both sides. You're going to have the people that are not going to touch it with, from orbit. But then you're going to have people that are jumping on every opportunity to advance themselves bionically, right? It's just the way humans are. You're going to have one side that wants to push the envelope, and you're going to have the other one that says, no, I'm good back here, back in the 40s or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know more and more people now are delving into that AI world. We've talked about that before a lot. Even Shawn over there has been playing around with the graphics. Did you do when you did your graphics? Did you use OpenAI to do that?
I did Dall-E 2.0.
Okay, because now
which it worked out okay, but I did just read an article that there is a new tool that can put corrupt data into images so that when AI reads it, it doesn't know how to properly interpret it, and it will give you bad images.
Oh, wow. Really?
So you can upload your images with basically I'm assuming it's some sort of digital watermark.
Right.
Yeah.
That when it's scanned by AI doesn't know how to decrypt those bits. So it can't learn from your images.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Now if you go to open.ai, I know that you will get a prompt for actually creating an image. So now their focus seems to be less on the textual type of imaging, and now it's more the graphical. And I don't know. I've been pretty pleased with the results, and more people now are trying it and finding it to be normal. But I think what some of these companies are doing is they're saying, come try this, get used to it. Now let's charge you. I mean, we saw that with the models of ChatGPT, where you had a model that's free and some people are still using that. And then you have a paid version. People, as Slick and I were talking before the show, people are putting it now on their resumes, saying that, I can do this. I know how to work the AI, because that's becoming what companies want to have. They want somebody Do you understand it? Can you run this? If I give you a paper, can you create something with this?
A little game for everybody to play at home. Guess which one of us three has it on their resume?
All right, we got to take a break. We got some great guests lined up. We're going to talk with our good buddy Mitch Goldstone from ScanMyPhotos. If you're looking for a perfect gift for the holidays, or you want to preserve those images, Mitch is always great on the show, and he's going to tell you about what they're doing and how they can make it super fast to get your photos and your film digitized to preserve it and keep it safe. We're also going to be talking about your antenna and a DVR. You want to be able to record off-air television, not with over-the-air television, not with maybe a VHS cassette, but digitally, and then be able to watch it anywhere. Tableau TV is the company that does that. We're going to be talking this. You want it already?
Oh, yeah. That thing.
We're going to be talking with the CEO of the company of Tableau TV. That's all going to be coming up with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Slick.
And you can find us on the World Wide Web at techtalkradio.com. Also, be sure to check out our blog. You can see the video that Shawn DeWeird did last week regarding iFixit. If you've ever wanted to take on a project and fix it yourself when it comes to technology, they're the company to look at. And you can see how easy it was with the company iFixit replacing a battery. And again, that's on blog.techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
You know, sometimes I catch the old person in me saying these kids have no idea how easy it is today. Because, I mean, I used to love watching shows like Starsky and Hutch and Adam 12 and Emergency. And the thing is, if I watched them on TV and maybe I missed the ending, that's it. I was done. Unless they played it in reruns, I couldn't go back and see what happened. Well, what's really cool about that is we've seen technology kind of change now over the years. And now DVRs, they're commonplace. But the thing is, what if you want to be a cord cutter, but you still want to have that capability to maybe watch your favorite show at another time? There are some great choices of programming, and you may say, well, tonight I want to watch this, and maybe I want to record this. Well, the old days of the VCRs, they're gone. But even then, they made it difficult to be able to record one, watch another, and do all that. Well, there was a company called Nuvio that is the maker of Tableau TV, and you may have seen their marketing department has been doing great because you see them all over social media. But really, what is it all about? And we decided, let's get him on the show. And Grant Hall is the CEO for Tableau TV, Nuvio, and is with us on the line. Great to talk to you, sir.
Yeah, great to talk to you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, tell us, we're talking about a product that was introduced back, or at least the concept back in 2010. How long is it? Well, obviously 13 years now, but how has that development stage happened, and what was the original idea for this?
Well, cord cutting was the original idea. And, one thing that, happened just before 2010 was the U.S. changed to a digital, over-the-air transmission standard. So most people out there don't realize that, with a simple antenna, but the size of a piece of paper, on your window, you can get stations in better quality than cable and satellite. They're all digital. They're all, high def. They look gorgeous. So what we wanted to do is enable people to enjoy that content. And the best part of it is it's free. You don't pay for it. So we build a device that you just connect this little antenna to. You put it up in your window, and then it connects into your Roku, your Apple TV, your Android TV, whatever device, mobile phone, tablet you're using to watch TV on, and it gives you access to all of that over-the-air content in gorgeous high def.
Well, and I think that's what surprised a lot of people, because I think we've thought of this traditionally in the past as, with an antenna, you're tied to that television. If you were at work and suddenly wanted to see something, nope, you had to have an antenna on your TV at work if you had something like this. With this, once it's recorded, you have that access to be able to stream it to whatever device that you're watching it on with the Roku or et cetera, and watch it anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And with live TV as well. It's not just recorded TV. And it's every device and multiple devices at the home at the same time. So somebody in the bedroom, living room, kitchen can all be watching different shows or recordings and enjoying that content on whatever device they want to. So that's the nature, and it allows you to put the device, where the antenna is the best place to be, which is typically up high. It's not next to your TV. It may be in a bedroom. It may be in a window facing the towers at the top of your house. So you can put the antenna at where you get the best reception, just connecting the device, and we connect wirelessly into your home network, and then the magic happens.
Now, we have told listeners in the past that have wanted to connect to some of our local channels that there's antenna TV that gives you the ability to be able to look and see what is the closest towers, which direction you want to point them to. Do you use that same type of resource?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to our website, tablotv.com, it has resources exactly like that. You can put in your zip code. It'll tell you exactly where the towers are, what kind of channels you should expect to get. It's a great resource to go to first to see, is this going to work for me where I live?
Grant, I know that yourself and a lot of your staff have done trade shows and showing the actual product and how it works. What seems to be the biggest surprise that people have when they see Tablo TV?
I think the big surprise is one, the quality, right? For us, so they're a bit older, we kind of remember the olden days of antennas where, ghosty picture, you had to move the antenna around, dance on one foot to get it. This is all digital. It's better quality than cable and satellite. The breadth of the content, all your major, stations are typically available in your location, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS. And then one of the innovations with this new launch, or the latest product, is we're adding a bunch of channels that come over the internet. So we call those fast channels, free ad-supported TV. So we have about 60 channels today. We'll have about 100 by the end of the year, and that together with the over-the-air content gives you just pretty much whatever you'd want. And both those fast channels that come over the internet and the OTA channels can be recorded and time shifted and playing back whenever you want to enjoy them. And that's pretty much revolutionary.
Well, the other fact, Grant, has got to be, too, the ease of use. Let's face it, some people have been a little timid about, number one, setting up an antenna because they're thinking it's going to be too difficult. And especially if you start telling them, DVR. I mean, I remember my parents, they didn't even want to do the VHS Betamax whole thing because my dad just thought it was going to be too difficult. But with this, you have the ability to set this up very easily. And most of us are using smartphones so that we can, or even smart TVs, that we can watch this content in a different room. If we, record it on the system that's in the living room, we can go to our room where maybe we didn't have that same kind of reception. Let's face it, it works that way. You're going to be able to see it there.
Yeah, absolutely. It streams to every TV in the house, at fantastic quality. One of the things we've really focused on with this new release is a whole new user experience. So the interface is gorgeous. It's kind of better than Netflix or our competitors, we think. We have a homepage that services tons of content that's currently playing or that you may want to record. You can look through different genres. We have a traditional grid guide if that's what you want to look at, just what's on right now. So we brought tons of tools really to allow you to find that content, suggest new content, and then instantly one-click record it or watch it.
Well, Grant, one of the things about cord cutting is you're trying to eliminate costs. The cost of cable, let's face it, has gone up quite a bit, quite dramatically. But a lot of us will keep the internet. We have that so we can use some of those streaming services that are out there, whether it be Netflix, Hulu, or some of those Crackle, etc., shows like that. But the fact is that we want to get away from subscriptions. How is the cost model on Tablo TV? Is it you buy it? Is there a subscription? How does that work?
There's absolutely no subscription. So you buy the product, from then that's the only expense you have. You set it up. It's going to use some bandwidth over the internet to get those internet-based fast channels, but all the OTA channels come in, gorgeous, high def, great quality, surround sound, absolutely for free.
Now, is it recording on in the cloud, or is it recording on SD type devices inside the tablet?
It has some solid state storage in it, so it has enough to do about 50 hours of high def. But you can also plug in like a simple USB hard drive, that you can buy for like $50 with 2 terabytes, and that will give you hundreds of hours of recording capability. So so either way, lots of storage available.
Now, one of the things I know about this, Grant, is that it has the ATSC1 tuners in it. as ATSC3 continues to evolve? Is this something that we will see in maybe future Tableau TV models?
Yeah, we're looking at that in new models. Unfortunately, the technology today is not completely backward compatible, but ATC1 is going to be around, at least 5 years. Lots of people say probably 10 years. So the current, TV is not going away. It's going to be around with us for a long, long time. So if you're worried about making the investment, you don't really need to worry about it. ATSC3 is just in the very early stages of launch. It still covers, I think they're saying now, about 70% of households in the US.
Yeah.
But it largely duplicates the content you have on ATSC1.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
you're not missing anything at this point in time. But yes, we're also looking at, incorporating the latest technologies in future products.
Well, of course, and plus that you've added this new kind of service where people can actually get some of these shows that are available online all within that one. So it's not like having to go back and forth. This can be their main unit that they watch their content on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a channel is a channel within kind of our user interface. So whether it's coming over the air through an antenna or whether it's coming over the internet, you don't know. It looks identical to you. You record it, you watch it the same way. It just means you've got suddenly, 100 channels where, essentially for free, no subscription.
Yeah. Plus, you get the local channels, and that's what's important to a lot of people. There are some services out there that people pay for. They don't get access to CBS, NBC, or ABC locally, and thus they're missing out on news. Yeah,
absolutely. I think, that we hear that from all of our customers, right? Having that connection to their local community, getting to see the local news and, more importantly, the sports, is critically important. So that's why we think combining the over-the-air experience with, the internet experience is really the best way to do things.
Now, I can go online to the website and take a look at Tableau TV. Now, is there a couple of different packages? Like if I want to get, maybe I've got an antenna, maybe I'm old school and got it on the roof, or, I want to go get one of those new flat antennas that, work pretty good. Or is there a bundle with an antenna in it?
Yeah, there are both products. So if you go to our website or Amazon.com, you'll see that there's an unbundled product, which is just the product. And you buy your own antenna. Again, it has flash storage on board, so there's no need to buy a hard drive unless you really want to have a lot of storage. You just plug it in, pull out the mobile app, set it up. It's very easy and quick to do. But we also have a bundle that includes a flat antenna, with a really good quality coax. So that, if you're in a metropolitan area where you're reasonably close to the stations, that's going to give you a great experience.
Exactly. Now, for setting it up, it's a piece of cake to go through. People can go online. They can see the step-by-steps. They get that with the product that they buy. And then, of course, the DVR features. What are some of the different, you get smart TVs. What are some of the other devices they'd be able to stream to?
Well, right now we're supporting Android, TV ecosystem that includes the Google and, NVIDIA Shield, those products. We support the Amazon Fire TV ecosystem. We support Roku. Very shortly, we'll have an Apple TV app. We have an iPhone mobile app. We have an iPad app, and we have an Android phone and tablet app. And we'll shortly be releasing some more smart TV apps. Right now we support Roku smart TVs, Android smart TVs like Sony's. And we'll expand that over the next, 6 months or so.
Now, Grant, you mentioned it. I remember the old days. I was the remote control. Dad would say, get up, change the channel. You only had a few choices. And then if the picture quality wasn't that great with the antenna, I am the one who had to hold it. And sometimes all of a sudden the picture would be good. As soon as I touch the antenna, Dad would say, just stay there. I want to watch this show.
That's a thing of the past.
Yes. It brings back some good memories. But the quality of the picture that you get now is pretty amazing. Like you said, high definition. Some people have no idea that TV stations actually put out this content with the best picture quality. And sometimes when they switch back to antenna, they're pretty amazed with what they get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the cable stations, and satellite need to fit a lot of stations into a small space. So they tend to compress them, which can compromise the image quality. Where over the air, you don't have that problem as much. So you can use, much more spectrum, higher bit rates. You can get a much better experience and a much better picture.
Well, you've come a long way. And again, Nuvio's got a great product with the Tableau TV. Again, I'm helping our listeners check it out. All they need to do, they can go to Amazon. They can find more info there. But of course, Tableau TV, they can get all that info right there on the website. Grant, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us about Tableau TV.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks, Andy.
We'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
We've had some guests over the years that have returned to the show because they offer a product to you, the listener, the consumer, that can benefit them greatly. And one of those that I am always proud to have on the show is the folks at ScanMyPhotos, Mitch Goldstone, who is standing by with us on the line. Mitch, how you doing today?
Andy, great to be with you again. Congratulations and everything with Tech Talk Radio. I just read your that blog. I think it was from last month about safeguarding your gadgets beyond all the anti-virus software. You always have such great content that we all learn from. So thank you.
Well, and yours is a product and service that a lot of our listeners have no idea how invaluable you are to them. Unfortunately, sometimes until an accident happens, and they do happen, whether it be a flood or a fire or something devastating that happens, where all those images over the years captured could be lost if they haven't been digitized.
Indeed. Andy, I have a really interesting story and update since we last spoke. I've been in business over 30 years, but nothing has ever happened like this. And I don't know for any other tech companies it's more aspirational. The Associated Press did a feature profile. It was picked up in 500 media outlets about exactly this topic, about the urgency of protecting and digitizing your photos, slides, home movies. And it was so emotional, but it was kind of frustrating too. The tech reporter for AP was procrastinating. It was actually years. He had all of his dad's. Remember the 35 millimeter slides?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they came in that They would be. You'd put them in the carousel, and you would sit and watch them projected onto a curtain or something. Yes,
that's right. Hey, we actually updated the service. We have just for slide carousels. It's $59 for the entire slide carousel, and people have dozens. But with this reporter, it was so sad because he procrastinated, and his dad passed away, and then he had us digitize all of his dad's photos. He was an avid photographer. And Andy, the story, it took 7 months, and it got so big. We had profiled 5 of our customers. One's an executive at Chevron that had us scan about 100,000 of his slides. But you remember, I'm dating myself, but Mary Tyler Moore Show?
Oh, yes, definitely, with Ed Asner and Mary Tyler Moore, the whole cast.
Exactly. I'm sure your listeners do too, and of course with Lou Grant afterwards. Well, after Ed Asner passed away, his son had us digitize his dad's entire lifetime, decades of photos that no one's ever seen. Matt had posted them on social media, got tens of thousands of admiration, love, everything from it. And Matt was in the story, and a lot of his dad's most favorite photos, just spanning decades, were profiled too. But the story I'm sharing is I mentioned it's aspirational.
Yeah.
But when the AP story hit, it changed everything. Or everything we had kind of crashed. We had to redesign the website, modernize it, which was good, and that goes into your opening comment about people just wait until something happens, but it changed everything for us being featured in the Associated Press. So really happy that so many people finally jumped on board, gathered all of those photos, slides, carousels, movies, and all.
If our listeners want to check out that article from Michael Leitke, they can actually find that. There's a link on the front page of our website where they can go through and read about his experience of having to find this as a service and what needed to be done. And I think most people, Mitch, they find out that it is super easy, that you take a lot of that work out of it, because there are people that will say, oh, I've bought myself a scanner, or one came with the printer, and they will think, okay, I'll start doing this. But there's a lot more that goes into that.
There is. You could purchase a do-it-yourself scanner. You're out hundreds of dollars before digitizing your first photo. But for me, my passion has always been about helping people preserve their memories. And competition's great. It helps raise the tide of awareness for it. But what we did, remember the old Kodak motto, you press the button, we do the rest?
Yes.
Right. And that's what we did at ScanMyPhotos.com, where all you do is you go to the website, click whatever you want, any product, and send us all of that. It's digitized, but what's crazy now is we have ScanFast, which is same-day scanning, and people need that for memorial services, for any and every reason. So your entire order is completed the same day, and it's uploaded to your inbox the same day. Wow.
The same day. So somebody is able to get you the photos. They've got it on. Suddenly they remember, we've got a memorial service. We want to have, a presentation that is in the background while we're, being prepared for speeches and, eulogies. This could be running in the back. They can get that to you in the morning and still have it by later that day for them to, or in the evening.
Day.
Same day.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, we did it for CBS News correspondent. Had the coolest project. He too, like everyone else, discovered it was about 100 boxes. So he sent them to us. It was done same day. He got it that night. And he actually reached out and thought that there was a problem because he got an email and was wondering what happened. I had explained to them that click. They clicked, and
job's done.
The response was right. It's all done. And he flew out to surprise his mom. It was a big family reunion. They did just that. They had a giant screen, and they showed the entire. What do you buy a parent that's 90? You can't.
No.
This is what you can buy them.
The memories, the memories, being able to see them again, and for the entire family. I mean, it used to be you would sit down with the grandparents, because I remember sitting with my Grandma Frances, and she had the photo album, and she would show me pictures of the house in Burma and the governor's ball that they went to. I am thinking now, these photos, and here's the deal, Mitch. We've seen over the years, photos have changed in size and shape and look. And it used to be you could have a photo the size of a postage stamp, and that would be okay for some. But for older eyes, that might be difficult to see. Can you take some of these small photos that are the size of like 2 postage stamps and increase them in size so they're easier to see?
That's a great question. Absolutely. And that's what ScanMyPhotos is all about, because they're traditional JPEG files. Mm-hmm. So you can watch all of them on a giant screen television. But what a lot of people are doing now, because we're content providers for every photo sharing app, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Snap, Threads now, TikTok X, all of that, Snap, where people are just uploading their recent pictures from their smartphone, their camera roll of, if they're like me, like the food you ate last night, but not those nostalgic, decades past pictures that have so many amazing stories behind it that you need to share and narrate and explain who's in it, what they're doing, where you were.
Mm-hmm. Now, how are these collated? So somebody maybe listening right now has a box of photos, and they're looking at them right now going, I keep saying I'm going to attack it. That's that procrastination. They get it to you, all right? What is this process for getting them to you, number one, and getting them back?
Sure. The easiest one, the most popular services are the prepaid fill-the-box service. So for photos, it holds about 2,000 pictures. It's as little as like $220, and everything's scanned, shipping's included, all of that. And to prepare it, bundle it in piles, stacks of about 100 or so. Use an index card and write down what the topic is, what the theme, the birthday, anniversary, special event, holiday.
Perfect.
And just put a rubber band around those and choose scan and order. So the index card with your messages on it, we could even scan the back of photos if there's handwritten messages, and then you get it back. Now, Andy, here's the really cool thing, because once you get everything back, people upload it to services like Google Photos, and then it's on your phone. And at the very bottom of Google Photos on the lower right is a little magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
So you could type in car, dog, beach, anything you want, and it's going to use its image recognition tools to sort and categorize all of those topics.
Oh,
and
that's
then,
great.
If you click on a picture of a parent or relative, it will find all the other similar ones. So basically, they do the magic. But the challenge is, how do you get not just one or two, but thousands, tens of thousands of those pictures and slides, negatives done? So that's where ScanMyPhotos comes in.
Now, Mitch, I know for a fact that you're not sitting there at a machine lifting the cover of that scanner, putting a photo down, and that's not how you operate. Over the years, and like you said, 30 years that you and Carl have been doing this. This is amazing because you have invested in top quality machinery and imaging equipment to get this done, to give you that best look.
Indeed. And Carl and I pioneered this service. We're the only ones in the world that have this technology, and it is insane. So for photos, we digitize 1,000 photos in 5 minutes. For slides now, each 35 millimeter mounted slide is scanned one every second. And way back in 2008, there was a reporter for the New York Times that I reached out to, and I explained that we could scan photos that fast. Mm-hmm. They said, I don't believe it, and we showed them what it does. And 2 weeks later, it was the feature article on ScanMyPhotos in the New York Times, and that's what really put us on the map.
That is great. I love it. And this article from AP also is great. And once again, you can find that at techtalkradio.com. If our listeners want to find out more, Mitch, about the service, what's the best thing for them to do?
Sure. Just go to ScanMyPhotos.com, and at the very top, there's a blue crawl with a message about the Associated Press article, and the quote from the reporter that all 5 people profiled, including the reporter, had a great experience with ScanMyPhotos, and most importantly, right afterwards is that promo code that everyone loves. It's AP, as in Associated Press, AP20, and you just type that in at checkout. But to handle everything, just ScanMyPhotos.com, super easy. We have support. Everyone here is just so passionate about helping the nation preserve all their memories.
I know that having, a one-stop shop for doing this, whether it be small photos, large photos, you do it all. I do know that there are listeners, and I've had listeners that have asked me in the past that have been very happy with your service, but want to do their Super 8 films, or even, let's go back even further, before Super 8, believe it or not, they were shooting on 16 millimeter. Is that something that you are doing, or something you've kind of looked at?
We do, and on the website you'll see all the different services for 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter. What's really cool about our technology, though, is we don't just scan the reels of 8 millimeter film. It's individually digitized, every frame. So what that means is, as you're watching it, you could stop it, pause it, and that image is crystal clear, sharp, digitized. So it's not doing it the old-fashioned way. So that's a really important feature for it, especially for, everyone has the 8 millimeter boxes and those little boxes of movie film, but they're just sitting and they're starting to fade away.
Yeah.
And if they're stored in an attic where you have heat, mildew, all garage, basement, all those memories are fading away.
Well, we've had people that have downsized, especially here in Green Valley. They'll downsize and maybe move into whether it be assisted living or living independently, but they don't have as much space maybe they had, so they put stuff in storage. For photos, this could actually not be a good thing.
It's not. Beyond all those issues, the others are, of course, natural disasters, and it's so emotional when we hear stories from people that lost everything from an earthquake, fire, flood, hurricane, all of that, water damage, smoke damage, and there are no copies. But Andy, your listeners are really smart techies also, so they know the importance. Once you get everything back, it's on DVD data disk, 8 gigabyte thumb drive for the instant upload. Please, please, please make backups. Store them in the cloud, Google Photos, and give them to friends, relatives. Safety deposit box. These files aren't locked. You have full access, so you can make as many copies as you want, but keep them off-site. We've heard from people who had us digitize everything. All the photos were destroyed, as well as the work we did. So now we have a backup service as well, which is kind of cool, where people would say, I lost everything. We press a button, and they get everything saved, sent to them.
I love that. Once again, ScanMyPhotos. Mitch, always great to talk to you. And, if you're looking for the gift for the holidays, this could make a great gift for somebody to be able to take those images and give them a presentation.
Indeed. And, of course, on the website, one of the popular ones, especially during the holidays when you don't know what to give and you don't want to do the normal standard gifts that really don't have any emotion, just click on the e-gift certificates, order them. Everyone gets them instantly, write a customized message, and all your relatives then can place orders, and they just type in the code they get. So it's all automated. But the e-gift cards are biggest during the holidays.
Well, once again, Mitch, it's great to talk to you again, and we look forward to talking to you again into the new year. And it's an amazing service.
Thanks, Andy. You are the best. And you are the amazing service. You make us all so much smarter. Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Wise guy reporting in.
Oh, wise guy. There he goes,
alert.
Slick. He's the wise guy.
New video doorbell. Video doorbell version 2.
Oh, all right.
It is a 2K camera with local micro SD storage, which the first video doorbell didn't have. I have the first video doorbell, and I will say that I'm not going to get this one.
Why? Now, why wouldn't you get it?
Because it will nullify my current video doorbell, which works just fine, and I'm super happy with it, and I would have to buy new chimes. This one will work with your existing chime. It includes a transformer that you put into your existing chime that will trigger your original existing chime if you have a house that was built with a transformed chime. I want it to work with the 3 chimes they have, one in the basement, one on the main floor, one upstairs.
Okay.
So just for clarity, just so I'm going to make sure I understand, we're talking about like real live physical chimes?
Yeah, the new V2 version 2 will work with your existing in-house chimes. Before, like mine, it's wired, so it runs off the same transformer, but I had to bypass the current. However it worked, the internal circuitry talks to the cloud, it chimes the ones that it doesn't actually push a signal to the internal chimes. This new version 2 includes pieces to mount in your internal chimes. You push the button, it ding dongs, Home Alone style, right? It's cool, and the price is guess. What do you think the price is?
$59
for the camera plus 1 chime, $39.99.
That's a good deal. Now,
doorbell, chime, and 128 gig memory card, $54.99.
All right, now can you have it streamed to the web so if you're not home, you'll get the notification on your smartphone and you could answer it? Is it a two-way?
Yes.
Really?
It's same as the V1. If somebody triggers the alarm, I'll get a notification on my phone. It's all through the cloud. You could then see it on your phone.
Is there a monthly charge for that?
Well, I don't think so, because mine doesn't qualify for Cam Plus. You can get if you do get it into Cam Plus. I'm scrolling through their website right now. You can get their AI detections so person, package, pet detection if you enroll it into Cam Plus. Which you can, for an unlimited number of cameras, pay $99 a year for an unlimited number of cameras for Cam Plus.
Now you can find this at wyze.com, wyze.com. A lot cheaper than the Google Nest doorbell that I bought, which was $199. And then I have to pay basically an annual fee to be able to access all of this data. Wyze's plan is what? What was the cost again, Shawn?
So the camera plus the chime. So the doorbell plus the chime controller, $39.99. If you already have multiple cameras like I do, you would just enroll it in your Cam Plus, because I've got 7 cameras that are already enrolled in Cam Plus for $99 a year. This would be the 8th if I added it.
So you guys can still see me set the bag on fire on your doorstep. That's what you're saying, right?
100%.
Okay. All right.
Wearing your Halloween costume. Well, that's it. We hope everybody has a great week, a great Halloween. Green Valley, we don't get as many kids that come out here. I still say they need to take it and make it for adults. Make it a special day where you go to the neighbors and you return all the tools you've borrowed over the years from your neighbor.
Okay.
That's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Slick.
Have a great week.